If you are planning on buying a co-op, hear me out on this. I'm going to tell you why I feel like you should if you're planning on buying a co-op. And this is for all the people who are looking to buy a co-op. I'm going to tell you my feedback of it. And then based on what I say, whether you like it or not, you could leave a comment. But as Zoma said, my name is Gard. I'm looking for a subscriber. This channel is all about real estate. So I'm going to jump in telling you why I think co-op is actually a good buy, but based on what you're looking for. So may I do it a different way? Let me start by saying, if you're buying a co-op, co-op, in my opinion, is one step up from renting, because in co-op is you are still renting, right? It's the same exact process which renter go through. That's what personal purchase co-op go through. So for an example, if you're looking for an apartment, right, the same set of paperwork. The only thing I think I probably excluded from it is probably your bank account. But that's different because you're purchasing it. So that's why maybe how much money you make and your bank account, more likely the bank account. Because if you're renting an apartment, that's the same thing the landlord will look on, how much money you make, where the source of income coming from, and pretty much have you getting evicted before. The whole entire question which a landlord would ask, that's the same thing a board asks. So the landlord asks a question direct, but the board asks you the same question. So you got to go through an interview with the board, make a decision whether or not they want you in the building, right? If you were to rent a place, landlord can rule, right? So co-op can rule. So they both do the same thing. The only thing is, lots of people when they purchase a co-op, they said they own it, but you have like a share in it. Now, co-op is different from condo, because condominium, if you buy a condominium, you own it. The benefits of having a co-op now versus a condominium is that when you purchase a co-op, because everybody go through the same check and the same background check and everything, your neighbor pretty much cannot play music too loud, cannot do like literally anything which out of the rules where they make up. So that in that sense, you can live somewhere where you feel comfortable where you're at, and you just pay your fees and go ahead. Versus if you want a condominium, and I'm not going to talk about condominium because this is not about a condominium. This is simply about co-op. But if you were to own a condominium, it's like your neighbor is kind of different from, doesn't have so much rules and regulation. So your neighbor could always rent somebody, have rent it to a tenant, and then for some reason, all the tenant ask, you have to just deal with it. A co-op doesn't do that, because majority of co-op is not about investment, because in most co-op you cannot rent the apartment. So it's who they interview, that's the person get the place, and that's all it be with a co-op. Another thing with owning a co-op is, as I say, is you don't have to worry about whether the snow fall. Because if the snow fall, somebody is going to clean it. I'm selling a co-op, and the co-op which I'm selling is pretty much the light is involved in the maintenance, the water is involved in the maintenance, and pretty much everything is involved in the maintenance, and all you gotta pay is just the maintenance. So taxes and everything is involved, and I think that's a good deal, right? Because yeah, it's just like an apartment, as what I said to you, but your monthly bill is a little bit cheaper, and like the quality of having your neighbor can't do every and anything that they want. If it's that what you're looking for, I think co-op is the best way for you. Another set of people which I see like interested in co-op, which I think it worked for them. Say for an example, you own a house for years. For years you have a house, and then now you want to go on that slow time where you don't want to really cleaning snow and all those things. You just want to live somewhere and pay your bills, and that's it. and have control over your neighbor anyway, because as I say, your neighbor really can't make music loud, can't do, it's just a bunch of other things in the rule where the neighbors really can't do. So because of that, you can always rest assured that you're gonna be somewhere comfortable, and that's what most people, when they reach up in a certain age, they'll sell their house and go to a co-op, because now they don't want to deal with the snow. They just want to just live and just have and they don't want to have a big place no more. They just want to have a 2-bedroom apartment, maybe 1-bedroom apartment. And the reason why I said 2-bedroom apartment is because sometimes you might have a kids and they're gonna come by for vacation or come by to visit, and you have an extra bed for them to stay there. So that's why I recommend most people might buy a 2-bedroom apartment. But if you're single and you want a 1-bedroom apartment, that's fine too. If you just believe in having a 1-bedroom apartment. But owning a co-op, I think it's a good buy, a good thing for people who reach a certain age, or for people who were just started, right? And the first money where you can have to purchase something is a co-op. I think you should start off from then, because that might give you a chance to grow and save some more money, so you can buy something, move up to the next step. And the next step from a co-op is either owning a condo or owning a single family. Anyway, this is Gard. Thank you again for listening. Please subscribe. Have more tips about how to go about doing real estate. And again, thank you very much for your time, and have a great day.